Good morning, everybody. Hope you are well. Wanted to share a thought from this week's parsha that I think can be helpful in today's environment. This week's parsha of Vayikra, the first portion in the book of Leviticus, talks about many of the animal offerings that were brought on the altar in the temple and in the tabernacle. But we see a few odd things that jump out at us, and they teach us a life lesson. Number one, we see that when it describes the different types of offerings that are bringing, some of them have different options, meaning that if someone is well-to-do, they bring an ox, a large animal. If someone cannot afford as much, they bring a bird. And if someone can afford even less, they bring just a simple offering of flour and oil. So when it comes to the bird, we see that it says that the entire bird, including the wings, are brought on the altar. So Rashi comments and says, there isn't anyone who enjoys the aroma of burning feathers. So why would the Torah, why would Hashem say, bring for me the bird with its feathers on the altar, and it will be a pleasant aroma for me? How is that pleasant? Also, we see that when it comes to the last of the offerings, the smallest, the one of just the flour, it says a soul that brings this offering. It doesn't say a person that brings the offering like the other categories, but rather a soul. So Rashi comments on both of these anomalies and says as follows, that if a person is bringing a bird because that's all that they can afford, and they're doing so with their entire heart, Hashem wants to make sure that they don't feel inadequate, that they cannot bring a bull. And therefore he says, I'd like you to bring the bird with its feathers, and that foul aroma of its feathers being burnt on the altar, I view as great pleasure, because you have given of yourself. Sincerely, I want every part of your offering. Same thing with the one who brings an offering of just flour, because that's all he or she can afford. Hashem says, I don't view that as a person who's bringing some contribution. I recognize that even though this is just flour, but for you, it's your soul. It takes so much out of you to be able to bring this offering that I recognize that it's not just a person bringing this, but it's your entire life, it's your entire soul that's being brought up on the altar when you bring an offering of just the flour. What lesson does this have for us today? Well, many of us are having a difficult time in one way or another, and we can think of ourselves that we're inadequate. What we're doing is not enough. I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. So the Torah is reminding us that as long as we're doing our best, and as long as we are sincerely putting our one foot in front of the other, and trying to do what we can to be there for ourselves, for our families, our friends, our neighbors, our communities, then Hashem says, I don't care if it's a bull, I don't care if it's a bird, and I don't care if it's just flour. As long as you're giving with all your heart and soul, it brings great pleasure to me. Please stay healthy and well, and have an awesome day.